Good morning. This is Jolynn from WonHeart TV, and I'm here with a special guest today. We're going to be talking about her latest book that she has for children, What Every Puppy Needs. Wow, what is that all about? And this is an extraordinary woman. She comes with a background in artistry. She's an artist, an illustrator, of course, an author. And get this, we're going to talk about, I think, a little performing, so maybe she'll perform today. I'd like to welcome my dear friend Ethel Tink Landers. Welcome, Ethel.
Hello, and good to see you again after all our lockdown.
Yes, here we are. I love all your paintings in the back. Now, are those pieces of yours?
Yes, and as you can see, I love bright colors and especially animals. So my house is my art studio now, so it's covered in paintings as well as easels.
I've been to your house, and you are right. There's no room to just sit and eat.
No, you have to have a paintbrush in your hand.
That's right. Now, you've given classes, I take it, in the back before.
Oh, I did. I used to do a lot of, when I had a larger studio, I would do painting classes, teaching you how to paint like Van Gogh, and we would channel Van Gogh and
Ooh.
get the most out of people. Some people had never even touched a paintbrush, for creative, like fine art, and they were always amazed. Of course, we offered wine too, so that helped, but
Oh, it does.
that'll
I,
loosen people up.
I've done those wine and draw things, and you don't know what people are going to end up with, but it's fun. It's so much
Right,
fun.
right. Unless you dump the paint in your purse, and then there's a little issue there. But
I take it that's happened. Is that a state farm? We've
you know,
seen it, done it.
no, that happened to another artist friend of mine. So, we keep the containers small and the purses closed if you work with me.
I see, I see. Well, good, good. I want to take people back with your story a little bit now. Your book it really resonates with me, and we are gonna get to that. But I have to ask you a little bit about your background and your story. It seems I'm hoping I think it might be how your book kind of evolved from it, maybe. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you came from, who you are?
Well, you're probably right because animals were always my best friends. I was born in Terre Haute, Indiana, in the janitor's closet of a black man's clinic for black people. And that's a whole nother story, dear. But long story short is I was adopted at birth, and my mom and dad loved animals. And they were poor, but we had so much love. It was wonderful. So I grew up with dogs and cats as my siblings, and they were always there as my best friends. So it makes sense that throughout my adult life, as I did art as well as created this book, I had this image of creating a book for children to teach them how to handle pets, how to take care of pets. And it just makes sense that my siblings, my animal fur friends, would be the subject of a book.
Yes, you've had a few in your past, haven't you?
Oh, I probably have more than I could count, but they're all just so dear to me. And of course, I believe animals are spirits just like we are, and they go on and they continue. So I feel them with me.
Yes, yes, I have one myself, and I've got her in the house. And we were talking earlier when we were getting on. We know that they can get excited, shall I say? But
Right. Yeah. They
so
may show up. Sometimes the kitten walks across the table here. It's my dining room table besides my art table. So
that's right.
sometimes she shows up on Zoom classes.
That's right. You've got a new addition. You've got a little kitty now, huh?
Right. And she was close to not making it. She was only 5 weeks old when she came to me and pretty sick, but 3 rounds of antibiotics and lots of nurturing. And I had the time to do it. Right. So
Good.
she's quite the spunky girl now.
I bet. I bet she's woken up both of your old puppies, huh?
Uh-huh.
Your old
Right.
girls. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So the book has so many goodies, and it's very simple. What ages is it best for?
The target age is either a more advanced second grader or your average third grader. Though I've had kids who are 8 to 12 years old enjoy it, and if you buy it or have a copy for that age. They can read to their siblings or neighbors, so it's perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially since it's written both in English and Spanish concurrently, uh, which is kind of cool. So
Mm.
kids can learn some Spanish or English depending on what their primary language is.
So us who want to learn how to speak Spanish, we could practice reading it in Spanish.
Right. I was doing a little myself. Even I used to be a little fluent. No more. Haven't practiced enough. It's my bad. But you can pick up the book and read the English part, that paragraph, and then the Spanish part. And so it does help reinforce those words.
Now, I think what's so important to me is the topic of it, and we're going to get into it. I hope that you'll read it for us because I would be
Okay.
delighted to hear the story. But there was something I was thinking about is that I've always heard, and correct me, is it true that the way you treat animals is really how you might treat your children someday, of sorts? Have you ever heard of that?
Well, I do believe that. I used to tell my good friends uh, back in the old days, my 20s and 30s, and I would say, how does that man you're dating treat animals? Because you're going to really determine how he's going to treat you or your future children. And I believe it's true. I mean, animals bring out that heart connection in most of us, in all of us, if we'll allow it to happen. But there are those people who are hardened for whatever losses have happened in their lives, and they abuse animals. And so that's one of the hopes and dreams I've had in creating this book, is that we not only touch children and grow them as animal lovers, but also they take the book home and read it to their parents, their caregivers. So hopefully we can make some adjustments in the adult population too.
They definitely need it. I remember my anti-bully programs, and we had such a wonderful program for the kids. Of course, they're young. They get it. They get it when they're young. But people would come up to me and ask me, "Well, Jolene, what about the adults?" So that's great that you're thinking in terms of the adult reading it in the beginning to the young ones, or the older siblings reading it to their younger siblings. So that's a win-win to me. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, can we see a little book, the little book you have
Oh,
there?
sure. Here's my little book.
Oh, wonderful. Hold it there for a second. So there's a variety of dogs. Tell me, you illustrated this. What's special about that, if you would? Why all those?
All these babies at one time lived with me over the years. And this little one right here is Jane. She came to me as a one-eyed rescue dog off the streets of LA. And let me show you little Janie today.
Oh my
There's,
goodness.
there's my
There she
girl.
is.
She's 15 years old.
Wow.
My sweetheart. Mwah. We don't ever want her to leave. Our babies leave us far too soon.
They do. They
But
do. And
but
she has such a great spirit because when she comes in the room, I remember when you were visiting, she
she
almost
bounces.
she
Oh, she
bounces.
And it's interesting. She's probably 15 and a half by now, but she moves rather slow around this house. But if I take her out to the beach, the puppy comes back. She breathes that air. She starts talking, and literally, she'll pull me down the beach, and romping, and then she'll leap through the air to grab her sister's leash. So there's a puppy inside her, just like there's a little girl inside each, of us too.
Yeah, it sounds like the beach is her happy place, just like
It
me.
It is. And so, like on the inside cover, if you can see that, there's some of the same dogs and a few others who
Oh,
have lived with me at one point or another. And the book's dedicated in general to my little Jack man,
oh,
who I found when I'd gone through a breakup back in, oh gosh, in the 90s. And I wandered into a little pet store, and here's this tiny little mixed chihuahua in a fish tank of all things. They
oh.
had him sitting in a fish tank, and my heart just went, oh, I have to have him. And so I bought him, and he was with me for 14 and a half years, and very smart dog, very, very smart dog. And so I've used him as that example in the book. He's the one that people rescue from a shelter.
All right, let's
Which
get
is
it.
another message. Yeah, another message is rescue, please. Don't go buy from the pet stores.
Oh,
Rescue.
yes. Yes, that's right. You've done a lot of work with the Humane Society, haven't you, in both counties, Santa Maria and San Luis Obispo?
Well, right. And supporting the whole idea is to support adoption versus breeding and backyard breeders and people making money off of mass production of animals. So many are euthanized. It's so horrible or neglected. And so it's just a message to keep giving, keep giving. My prayer every night is to be a conduit of good. I want to be connected to God, my source, and to others and back again. Let that love flow. And shelters, they definitely, I have volunteered at them and given monetary gifts, but the most important thing you can do is go adopt.
Right, right. Oh, yes, of course. We don't need all those animals wandering around and yeah, that's a great idea for people. Again, people adopt at the Humane Society. There's such love bugs. They want to be adopted, don't they?
Well, and the ones you rescue, they know it. Like little Janie, who's now sleeping here at my side, they know that they've been picked out and saved because she was in two shelters in Los Angeles. So
Wow.
she is a little survivor.
Oh, she bless her little heart and one eye to boot, you know?
I know she lost an eye on her journey, but God bless her. I've had her since 2008, and she's been such an angel in my life. Uh,
Wonderful.
and so, yes, please, if the message can get out there, adopt a cat or a dog. Just give them a better chance at life, and they'll give you unconditional love.
You know, I actually saw that the Humane Society, if I'm not misquoting this of some sort, but I think there was a lot more adoptions during this time of COVID lockdown because of the fact that people were like, well, let's get a puppy for the kids, you know, let's
Yeah,
get something. So, wow.
and I'm hoping those don't become throwaway animals. What so often happens if there's an impulse adoption is the animal gets thrown outside and locked in a yard by itself. And these animals they're pack animals. Those doggies, they want to be with you. You become their pack leader, and they want to
That's
sleep
good.
with you, and they want you to be there with them when they eat, and they're unconditional love, and a lot of times humans don't get that.
Yes, indeed. I have a little munchkin myself, little Bella, and someone gave her to me, and she's just such joy and happiness and love and energy. Oh my
Energy,
God.
yeah.
Yeah, get you out to exercise too. That's always good for us. All right.
Oh, it absolutely is. Absolutely.
I have got to get to your book, and I was hoping that
Well,
you could read it to us because I'm hoping to send this off to the Santa Maria Bonita School, but that doesn't mean it's just there. So if it comes out really good, I'm going to snip it a little bit and send that just to the people in the administration office, and we'll with
yeah,
my fingers crossed.
I would love that. To give a real quick snippet and background. Again, the vision was to get the book published and gift it away. The whole
Right.
purpose wasn't to make me money or get my name in lights or anything. The whole idea was to create a book that teaches animal care and then get it in the hands of children to take home and get their commitment to read it out loud and share it with their caregivers. So what happened, I did a GoFundMe account to get this published. And I've lost track of the number of people. Most of them are on page 2, detail the original people who funded the book. But we have gifted, I think, around 3,000 copies now. I've lost track. People can buy it on Amazon.com with the author Grandma Tink, Every Puppy Needs. But any of the proceeds, now Amazon gets their share, right? But any proceeds then goes to print more to be gifted away to other kids then.
That's great, Ethel. That is wonderful. What a gift. What a gift.
So
Oh, there you are.
there we go. There's Grandma Tink and Noah.
Okay.
And I'll just read the English part, but
Okay.
again, it's in Spanish too. Usually when I can go into classrooms, we'll have either a child or a helper read the Spanish part also.
Oh, that's
But
a wonderful idea.
Noah loves to read. His favorite book is called Every Puppy Needs. Noah lives with his grandma Tink and her two cats, Alex and Cheeto. Every night before bedtime, Noah reads out loud to Grandma Tink and the cats. Again, this is encouraging children to read, right? Noah reads out loud. Every puppy needs a large bowl of cold water, clean and bright, and fresh dog food to eat at morning and night. Oh, here come the gardeners. I hope this doesn't do anything to us. Every puppy needs a fenced yard to run in and a human friend too, toys to chew on, and kindness from you. Very important, right? That we play with the animals, we get the exercise for them as well as ourselves, and we connect on a heart basis. Every puppy needs to be part of your family inside your home with a warm place to sleep in a bed of his own. Reinforcing the importance that animals aren't just throwaway to be kept out in a pen somewhere or tied to a tree, unfortunately, to break those old mindsets and have a new paradigm of these being our heart connections. Every puppy needs lots of good brushing at least once a week and special care by a doctor so there's not too many puppies to keep. That's my attempt at encouraging spay and neutering without being too graphic for the kids. Every puppy needs a tag with your name and your cell number 2, a license, a collar, and long walks with you. And don't they love it when you take them out on a walk? It'll lift your spirit, doesn't it? You can be down, especially for COVID. Oh my gosh, I've been stuck in the house so much. But these dogs get me out walking every day, and that just lifts me up again. Every puppy needs someone to pick him and love him forever. Look, Jack, Noah, and the kitties, plus Grandma T, are happy together. And so one of the myths is that dogs and cats don't get along. And yet, I'm 70 years old. I've lived with dogs and cats all my life, and they become one big family as long as you enable that. And then again, when your family's ready to care for a pet, please visit your local shelter and adopt. Grandma Tink and Noah now have 2 cats named Alex and Cheeto and a dog named Jack. And there's Jack when he was in the shelter with his other friends. So there are friends waiting at the shelter. In the book, then, I have places for the kids to cut out pictures of their own pets and place them in here. So this is a keepsake. It's like a little photo album, whether they're kitties or doggies or rabbits. There's pages to glue pictures on. And then encouraging, again, for the adults, a page that encourages people to go to shelters and also support local shelters. And it thanks like the Animals in Need Fund in Nipomo and the veterinarians who supported the book. But again, we were taking the book, reading it in person. You've been out with me when we've done that. And then gifting the book. And thanks to WonHeart, Jolynn, thanks to WonHeart, as well as Altrusa of the Central Coast, we have enough books on hand to cover at least 4 classes right now. But I can't get in the classrooms, right, because of COVID, and I totally understand. But creatively, there's got to be a way via Zoom. I could read to the kids, and the teachers have these on hand at the school then to gift out. There must be times in today's situation where parents have to come to the school to pick up books or lessons or something. I don't know. Right. I don't know what's happening, but I'm available to do that.
Right.
Thanks to, again, WonHeart and Altrusa of the Central Coast. We have the copies of the book, and they're not doing any good sitting here in my studio. Let's get them in the hands of little ones so they can read to their parents.
That's right. You know, I would love for that to happen, and we're all about literacy, both of us, Altrusa of the Central Coast and WonHeart. We believe in, especially WonHeart believes in the fact of giving books such as yours out free to people, if possible, having children having their own books in their own hands is such a treasure, and it gets them started early. It gets them started early,
If it started early as well as now, when you think about it, I know I've just recently seen pictures of my granddaughters, starting school again in front of a screen. But how wonderful to get off that electronic a while and the assignment be to pick up a book and actually read it, or practice writing the English portion and then the Spanish portion.
Well, your book idea is just so creative, just so off the wall, and your illustrations are just beautiful. And what I love is that you used your own little pups as the little models, so to speak.
Oh, well, they've been in my life, right? They're my original life drawing characters, right?
Yeah. What a
But
wonderful book.
again, the whole idea is let that love connection flow. And this was on my bucket list to do for about 20 years, believe it or not. And when I retired from my business career, I put myself through art school. And part of going back to college was an illustration class. So
Was
guess
it? Was it? I didn't know. Yeah, you graduated from Cal Poly
right.
University.
I was the oldest art student, I think, in history there, but I went back and even had a chance to study in Thailand for 10 weeks. It was a fabulous experience. And again, just stimulates those creative juices.
That's what you brought up here in your bio that you went to Thailand. Now, how did that affect your art as well? You do art not just on canvas, but I have one of your pieces. You blessed me on stone.
Oh, I
And
love it.
can you talk a little bit more? Let's get into you, the artist, Grandma Tink. Why is Thailand such a big thing for you? It seemed to have. You talk about it a lot.
Really affected me. It was an offering through Cal Poly. I don't remember how many years they had offered the study abroad program. And of all things, again, I was like 52 years old when I went over there with the kids.
Mhm.
And yet, thankfully, there was one other adult student. And she wasn't an art student, she was a sociology student. But we paired up and we did a lot of the touring. My son Adam actually went also. And we had about 48 students. But Thailand is, I would go back in an instant. I think I would have moved there if I hadn't had family here in the States. Thailand is, I think, about 95% Buddhist. And I studied some Buddhism. I'm not a practicing Buddhist, but I so respect the faith or the practice. And it's just a peaceful, loving culture. And you get off the plane, and I could feel this positive energy, believe it or not. I get off the plane, and it's like almost a vibration of goodness.
Oh,
And it was really wonderful. I was right at the last, next to the last quarter of my senior year, the senior year. And so it was wonderful to go there. I did take some sociology classes too and study the people. But the most important thing was just the energy of Thailand and of the wonderful beauty of the Thai people. And then to go into foundries, I was able to go in and see where the beautiful Buddhist sculptures are created in bronze. And so it really gave me that energy to create in 3D, which when I had my previous studio, I was able to do that in clay. I had my own kiln. But then I got into carving stone, and it's pretty ironic to work on stone. I was in my early 60s and then trying to do like a 200-pound piece of art, and it's like that's a little challenging to move. But using sandstone and actually doing almost like a watercolor on sandstone, but using cement stains, that sandstone just sucks the cement stain down into it, and then to carve into it with different etching tools, diamond tip drills. It's just wonderful. And each piece is unique. That's what I love. It's not like buying a reproduction. You're getting a unique piece of art.
wow. Yes, it is a beautiful piece. And you had several of them over here when you were temporarily homeless.
That's right. And you gave me a place to stay, my dogs and I. So I so appreciate that.
Yeah.
And yes, and so everything that wasn't in storage, I gifted a lot of huge pieces away. And
Hmm.
That makes you feel good too as an artist. You put such energy and passion into a piece, but it's not all about making money. I mean, you do need to make some sort of money in order to buy your materials and pay a couple of bills. But the reality to me, it's all about letting your natural talents flow from above through you to others and then back again.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, that's so true. I give out my music a lot of the time. It's about the messages, I think, from the heart center. Would you not agree? It's a heart centered. At this point, it's not about money, and I so relate with you on that. So um, they always say giving is actually better than receiving, but
Well, and what you give comes right back to you. It really is true. I mean,
mhm.
and it comes in so many different forms. The positive, the just a natural flow of love and positivity. It's so good to just be part of that flow, like a river.
Yes, yes. What a wonderful story. Thailand. It's got a definite place somewhere in you, right?
It does, and elephants too. I got to ride an elephant near the River Kwai, and there's just
Well,
so many good, wonderful experiences I had there.
there's a book right there.
I did a large painting of a friend I was with on the elephant. She was in front of me, and her elephant wanted to sit down in the river and roll.
Whoa.
She was on the back of it, and we're all screaming for the little tiny people who would take care of the elephants. But she was safe. The elephant didn't roll. But I did a large painting. I did. I came back and we had a major show. The other art students were photographers, so we had a major show and sold a lot of the work then.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You've worked with a lot of the cities and a cultural centers of sorts with art. You've done murals too? What do you mean by murals?
Oh, I'm kind of in the mood to do another one too, but I'm 70. It's really not smart to get up on the top of a ladder anymore and clean your own gutters or paint a mural. But long story short is a friend asked me to help clean up one of the local schools
Hmm.
because it looked so dreary inside. It was their cafeteria. So I did a large mural inside, and then it was like, why not take it outside too? And so we did. We did ended up doing, I think, 7 murals at one school. And I had, let's see, have I done it? Over time I've done so many, but long story short is it really is uplifting for the kids to have bright colors, have cartoon characters of children of different ethnicities getting along and treating each other beautifully. It's very happy. I'm glad that when I go back by that school, those murals are still there.
Good, good. That's what a way to leave yourself here on the planet when you walk off. And not that I'm rushing you or anything like that.
Well,
You've
I'm
got,
ready whenever, but yeah, I would love to make it past 100.
there you go. Feeling good. That's the purpose of life for sure.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Um, you know, um, I just love this conversation and what you've done. Now, where can they find you if they wanted to hire you for the mural? I'll put it out there. Or some of your work. You do acrylics, you do pastels, you do graphic, you do.
Well, I do. Anymore, it's so interesting. I just kind of let the energy flow in whatever medium I work in. And obviously, the most recent painting I did was from a 2 by 3 black and white photo from 1952, and did it. I think it was 36 by 36.
Hmm.
So it was wonderful to put color, and it was of a friend being cuddled by her mother in front of her grandmother's house. But
Beautiful.
I do have a website, ethellanders.com,
Okay.
and there's a little bit of work on there. I don't upload a lot of work anymore. I usually just do the piece and let it go. Don't even have them duplicated anymore. I think that's really important to just let a piece be an original.
Hmm.
And so ethellanders.com, and my phone number for any teachers who might want to get involved, either through WonHeart, or I don't mind my phone number being out there either, 805 550
Okay. I will link that all in this video for all of you watching today on Facebook Live. It's so wonderful to have you, Ethel. This is such a delight. It was refreshing, uplifting. I loved it. We need that right now. We so
Some do.
need
And
it right
there's got
now.
to be a creative way of getting this out. And I mean, why not Zoom? You could have guest speakers on Zoom, for heaven's sakes,
Right.
for second or third graders.
Right, right, right. And I'm going to work on that with some people, the administration, about how to get those books. So I'm not giving up on you. And you say you've got enough for three, at least three
At
classes?
least four. We have enough for at
Four.
least four classes, either again, second grade or third grade. But
Okay.
really, if you can, let's try to get them into neighborhoods where there may be less income, so there may be more animal neglect, that sort of thing.
Wow. Okay, great. I love this talk. I hope to have more authors on with fabulous pieces that, again, how can we help our children become the kind of citizens that we'd like to see? Maybe a little more compassionate, empathetic, I don't know. And this definitely resonated with One Heart and Altrusa of the Central Coast. So thank you for gifting us your talents. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
thank you for supporting them and encouraging them. And this was perfect timing. Let's get these books in the hands of little ones.
That's right. And I'm going to say goodbye to your little girls. You have two dogs,
Right.
correct?
And they behaved. How about that?
And a kitty cat, and mine did too. And she just went outside again. So, oh, there's Janie.
Oh, she was sound
Perfect.
asleep.
Oh,
My
oh.
little grandma doggy was sound asleep.
Yeah, she kind of looks like it. Her little head's kind of barely bobbing there, keeping awake.
Yeah.
If you want to support your local humane society, the great way is to get a hold of them. But be ready because a puppy and a kitty cat, any animal that you adopt, is takes a lot of responsibility. But what a great way to teach your children how to be and take responsibility for something other than themselves. So it's a great way for your children. It's a win-win. And so much love they have to give. Again, these videos, multiple videos I've done of women in the 805 area code, you can check them out at oneheartinfo.org or One Heart TV on YouTube, and we invite you there. You can rewatch this and hopefully send a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe to our channel below, and again, thank you, Ethel, for taking part in this
Thank you,
today.
Jolene. Thanks so much.
All right, we're going to just encourage you to be the change out there and start a change reaction. If you've been wanting to write that book, go out and write that book. Ethel, it took her 20 years, but she did it.
I did it. I did it. That's
You
right.
go, girl. All right. Peace, love to you all. Thanks again, Ethel. And bye bye, Janie.
Hey, bye bye. Bye bye, baby.